Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. In today's show, Dan and I are going to eat some crow, baby. We've had some losses over the last year of trading NFTs. We can't just talk about our wins on this show. We got to keep it real with you. So we're going to be recapping some of the biggest L's we've taken over the last year. We're also going to boost our egos a little bit and touch on some wins near the end. But I want to focus on some of our missteps in the NFT market and how we can learn from those. Before we begin, please like the stream, subscribe to our channel, head to FLOLiO.com for all of your free NFT tools that will make your buying experience even better. So, Dan, how are we doing today? How are things over in the Netherlands? Hot as ever?
It's actually good now. It used to be really, really warm, and now it's finally calmed down a bit. We had like a huge rainstorm, and now we're good. Now we're good
Okay.
again. Back to being cold. Just how I like it.
Back to being cold. I like it too. It's still a little too hot over here into my neck of the woods. I don't like these 90, 100-degree days,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you gotta take it. We are going to talk, like I said, our NFT L's, man. How are you feeling about the market before we jump into things? It's been kind of a weird week. Volume's been down. All eyes have been on like the price of ETH and what's going to happen there, and I think that's kind of holding up any potential trading volume that we might see.
Yeah, the market's definitely being the market right now. We've seen some good quarterly reports, though, right? I think we saw Walmart in profits or something as well.
Oh no, Walmart got its ass kicked.
Oh, did it?
I'm not going to try to speculate on like the state of the markets because I
Mm.
I don't understand what's going on. I would based on some of the stuff that I'm seeing and the guidance that some of these companies are giving, I would expect prices to be going down, but they're not. So I'm not going to pretend like people should listen to me when it comes to financial things. Hey, this is great timing. Nothing we say today is financial advice. So just take what we have to say with a grain of salt. Please do your own research with any of these things. Realize that God knows Dan and I make plenty of mistakes too. So let's jump right into it, Dan. Start me off with one of your bigger L's that you've taken since you started trading NFTs.
Um, I'll actually begin with house faces. And we have like a little list going on. I put house at the bottom because I just realized that I was like, oh right, house is a thing. But I should probably talk about first because they were doing really well at the start. Maybe at the start of this year, they launched Moody, and it got some. There was some backlash because the art was kind of eh. The art wasn't amazing, but they were doing really well. And House was really like on its way to become like a pretty big like brand, and everything was everything was going great. And then they posted like their roadmap, and it looked really really good, very professional, very interesting things they were talking about. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll buy one off the market for like I think it was like 2 ETH or something.
Okay.
And it took about maybe 2 weeks for them to fall apart, and I ended up selling it for like 0.39 or something like that. So that was
Yeah.
yeah, that hurt a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's never fun. So I'll start my probably financially side biggest L is Gen X by House of Kiba. So this was a project I knew about House of Kiba early on in their initial pass. I
Hmm.
didn't get it. I felt like I had learned my lesson and I was like, okay, I'm not going to hold on to that. So I'm going to mint these Gen X's when they come out. They minted at like point 0.2. I bought like 14 of them. Actually, no, I think about close, actually about 20 of them. At zero point 0.2, and now they're trading at 0.03. And that was when ETH was at like $3,500. So I am down tremendously on these. I've sold some of them for like
Oh,
next to nothing just because I don't even want to look at them anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but that is definitely one of my bigger L's. And that's a project that it seemed like it had a lot of potential. And then it just ran out of steam. The founder of the project left.
Oh,
So, they were producing like a Gen X show like that was like actually happening. There was like in Variety and other like Hollywood publications, but nothing's really come of that. And so that is definitely on the financial end one of the bigger L's I've taken in the last year.
it's just kind of like stuck in your hidden folder.
It's still in my regular folder because I'm trying to just like so people are still buying them for like a tiny bit here and there, and so it's like if I can get anything, if I can sell all of them and get back like 0.25 ETH, I'll take it at this point, like whatever.
Yeah. So one of my larger losses was Quarter Machine. They're not like a bad project. They're just no one really buying them on the secondary,
Okay.
which is kind of rough. I mean, they're not doing too much. They're basically like an animated project made by Space Station, and they have like a child like animated show on YouTube, and it gets like 1 million views per episode, right? So it's actually doing really well. And then they hide like your NFTs in this show, and if it's in the show, then in return you get like you're eligible for licensing rewards. So it's cool, but the problem is no one really cares. So, um,
That's a problem.
so yeah, so that's an issue. So I think they just opened their like claiming window, so you can like claim rewards, claim like ETH and some like physical stuff, which I did. But I don't think there's been a secondary sale for like 2 months or something. So, and I paid like maybe 1.5 ETH for him. So that's another L on my part.
Okay. God, I have so many to pick from. I'll go with the Alien Boy next. This
Mm.
was one that I got into. I swept the floor of. I bought like 20. You had
Ooh.
to get. You needed 25 of them to be considered like get one of their Leader Boy NFTs. So I bought like 25 of them when the floor was between zero point 0.2 and 0.25, and I
Oh.
bought like a couple of rare ones as well. So this is one we're probably down. Christ, about like 7 or 8 ETH.
Ooh.
Once again, ETH was considerably higher,
Yeah.
and I'm just, the floor hasn't cratered, but it's just like stuck. Like it feels one of those projects where it's either going to slowly peter out, or maybe I'm wrong about it, and someday it'll take a pop. But I mean, it's been over a year at this point that this project has been around, and the floor is just consistently between zero point 0.1 and 0.13. And so like I've just been offloading them. And then there was like this claim where if you had one, you got either a alien girl or an alien UFO. It was
Mm-hmm.
a random thing. So I have like 25 of these alien boys. I got another 25 of either like the UFOs or the alien girls. Like and this is in like one of my wallets, and it's just so much fucking inventory. And I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
want, if I could just bulk sell all of these right now for like a 50% cost, I would just do it just to get them out of there. I know I can use a hidden folder, but I still want to try to sell these if I can. So
Yeah.
that's another big L right up there with the Gen X. And I think those were around like similar times. Like I took a beating at one point last year, but I just made up for it in other ways. What's another L that you have on your books, Dan?
Yeah, for me it's Monolith, I think, from Artifact. And it's hard to say whether or not this is like a big L. I bought it for 4 ETH, which is good if you think about like Monolith Floor. I think it went up to like 9 ETH or maybe like 11 ETH, something along those lines.
Hey, I bought mine around 8, so I took a much
Oof.
bigger L than you.
Yeah, you definitely did. Um, and then you could like open the inventory, and then inside it was like the Monolith 2, the crypto kicks, and like a vial that you can put in the crypto kicks. I think if you add it all up, it's like 3.8 now or something. So for me, it's not like a huge loss, but for you, on the other hand, it might
Oh,
sting
for
a
me,
little
it's
bit.
terrible. And I
Yeah.
mean, the floor right now is 3.75. So it's not that big of a
Hmm.
deal for you. And I still am a believer that the
Yeah.
crypto dunks, I mean, I'm a little less confident after the, artifact hoodie debacle last weekend that
Yeah.
didn't go well. But, I still think that the crypto dunks could be really cool, especially if this becomes a routine thing where Artifact and Nike are putting out sneakers. Like having the first digital Nike sneaker that's going to come with a physical, I think could be really, really awesome. So I don't think it's too bad of an L for you. I think it's a
Mm.
really bad one for me. So that's where I stand on that. I don't see my ever getting the value back from
Yeah.
the 8 ETH I spent on it, but you know what? We all make mistakes. So I piggybacked off of yours, so I'm going to give another one of my own. Um, Cool Pets is definitely one I took an
Mm.
L on. I picked up a couple of those when the floor was 2 ETH, and I sold at like 1.2. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not down. This is one of those situations where if we see where the floor is now, because I took that L, but at the same time, if I would have just like been stubborn and held on to it, like the floor is at 0.21. So I'm still gonna declare that a kind of a W, kind of an L.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I cut
Definitely.
out for a second there?
Nope. You're. I know. I
Okay.
think you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I could have held and lost another 1 ETH a piece. So
Yeah.
it's still an L, but I guess it's kind of one of those lessons of like if you sell on the way down, you don't need to try to sell the top. Like it's okay to cut your losses and still move on with your life.
Yeah. I think I minted 2 cool pets. I think, and was it 0.25 for mint? I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
And I think at one point they went up to 3 ETH. I don't really recall. I think I sold mine for around 1.2. Might have sold them to you or something.
Hey, hold the. No, I bought them higher than that. Yeah, so they started off at like a 3 ETH floor right off the jump. Their chart is sad. It is just a
Oh,
flat line.
yeah, I just checked. I sold mine for point 0.3 and yeah, point 0.3. So I sold two for point 0.3. Oh, 1.3, sorry.
1.3. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I mean, cool cats are 3.1, so you could basically have turned those two pets into a cat right now if you wanted.
Hey, cats is a good buy, I think. No
You think
financial
so?
advice. Yeah, I think so, but I think it's a fairly decent play. I think it's fairly high upside if you think about it. I mean, the all-time high is 15. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Ay,
this
ay,
is
ay.
a conversation for another day. But there are a lot of projects, and I don't
Mm,
think we're ever going to see them hit all time highs again. And Cool
yeah,
Cats is in that group for me. Go
I
on
think
with your
so.
next L that you've taken over the last year.
Yeah, I would have to go to Asuna, and Asuna is definitely something. I have to check real quick what I even, because I minted one Asuna, and it went to like 4 ETH, I think. It went crazy, and it pulled back, and then I bought one for like 1.6, and then it went to like it went real bad real fast. Um, I'm almost there. Let me check. I sold. Oh no, I bought it for 1.5. Yeah, and that's so that 1.5 right now. I ended up selling it for 0.25. Their floor is currently zero point 0.1. So that's an L.
That's
That
that's
is
a
an
big.
L.
There we go. That's Dan taking an L like a man.
There you go. Yeah, on the cheek. And then I sold another one for 0.55. So it kind of hurt, but hey, we take wins, we take losses as well on the way up, on the
Yep.
way down.
Okay. Another L for me, I'm just going to call it an L now, is World of Women Galaxy. I really
Yeah,
thought that this was one that was going to have some potential moving forward, and it still might. They just announced that there's something going on with the World of Women Galaxy collection. But I bought in when the floor was around like 0.85, and I exited when the floor was about 0.5. So that was
yeah,
another project where I was just like, I don't want to keep paying attention to this. I'm going to take whatever money I have left and dip on out. But I've redeployed. I put a bunch of that money into like Bored and Dangerous by Jenkins, and that has done well so far. So I'm
yeah,
not going to be too upset about it. Like I said, we want to learn some lessons from these losses, and that is one of them. Of don't desperately hold on to something just because you're already invested in it. Like look for better opportunities.
yeah, definitely. And one big loss of mine is Luke Labs, 420 game. I don't know if you still remember.
Yep.
I ended up I so I had whitelist because I'm in Wolf game, and I could mint like 3 of their NFTs. And I think at one point they were going for maybe 1.1 each. So I could have sold it for like 3 point something. And then you could also claim the Game Pass and then some other stuff and some more stuff you could claim. I held everything, I staked everything, and it's worth like nothing right now. So and I think I minted some stuff. So probably down like half an ETH or something.
Okay. I'm going to give two here, and this is because these were two projects around the same time, like September of last year, where I got like caught up in a little bit of hype and just totally bought the top. And that was this stupid pixelated project called Gremlins. I didn't lose a ton on this one. I bought like 5 of them when the floor was still fairly low, but it already pumped, from a few people tweeting about it. And then another one was called Transported. It was a generative art project, and this had gotten some steam like from some alpha groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I literally bought the very top of it at like
Oh,
0.3 ETH for like 5 of them.
oh,
And there has not been a sale of that project in like 6 months.
that's
It's
sad.
just it is so dead. Same thing for the Gremlins. Like I learned that lesson, and once again, we take these losses and we have to just get better as a result of them. So those were two right there that taught me just don't freaking buy into hype cycles.
Yeah, no, definitely. one of mine, and I'll end my losses on this one. It's the Doge bound, and it's not really a loss. It's just a very very bitter unrealized gains. It was, I think, either my first NFT project I minted or the second NFT project I minted. And I had it. The mint was like for point oh eight or something, or like 0.069, and I sold for like 0.01 above floor or something like 3 days after, because it wasn't selling out. The team was being really weird on like Discord, like begging people to mint essentially. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't know what this is, but I want my money back, right? Like, I'm new to NFTs. This is money I didn't even spend my, well, this wasn't from like fiat. I joined NFTs with some really leftover crypto, some jumbled mess worth like $80 or something. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what this NFT thing is all about. So I minted this Doge pound, and I was like, all right, I need to sell this because this is weird. And I think they ran up to like 2 or like 4 ETH or something at one point. And I was like, huh, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have sold. So that's a really
Yeah.
bitter first experience, at least.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'll give my final one, and let's see, another unrealized one. I sold my original Jenkins of LA Writers Room NFTs way too early. I didn't mint right off the bat, but I did pick up like 3 or 4 of them at a floor of like 0.09, and I sold at like zero point 0.5, and then they ran up to like 2 ETH. So that was a big, potential gain that I missed out on because I didn't stick to my thesis behind it for long
Yeah.
enough. Like I believed early on that it was a really cool concept and they could do some great things with it. And I ended up being right, but I just wanted to take that profit off the table.
Yeah.
It may have been around the time where I took some other L's as well. So there's a lesson right there about like not letting one trade seep over into your decision making regarding another.
Yeah, the hardest part is like when you take like a fat L and you're like, hey, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm not gonna like hold too long anymore. Like I'm done, right? I'm done taking these damn losses. And then you sell something and then it pumps and you're like, okay,
Yep.
maybe I should hold longer.
Okay,
So
so Dan, let's make ourselves feel better about the L's. Rattle off a few of your wins over the last year. I know you got some of them.
yeah, I mean I would have to begin with admit one, right? Admit one, I minted it for, I don't even remember, like point 0.2 or something. Maybe it was even free. Free. I don't even recall. And I sold it for 12.5 ETH. So that's very nice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What are some other ones? I want you to just
Some
give
more.
me the whole rundown.
So I had Oni Force, which is partially an L, more like really annoyed with the project itself. But I mean, everyone knows Oni. They minted for 0.0777, I think,
Okay.
and I had 2. They went up to maybe 8 ETH, and then they went down to like 1 ETH, and now they're like point 0.2 or point 0.1. It's like Mechaverse. And I sold one for 4.5 ETH, and that was when ETH was at 4K. I sold it and immediately converted it to fiat. So that's definitely a big W. And I sold the other one for maybe 1.5 ETH.
If you're concerned and you want to feel better about the fact that you kind of took an L on Oni Force, you can always look right here
The
at
commies.
Logan
Yeah.
Paul's
Was it? How
NFT
much was
buy.
it? 400 or something?
This was a one of one that he bought at the top for 188 ETH.
Oh yeah, with ETH
He
being
bought that
4K.
just about a year ago. Let me
Yeah, you
let
can.
me
Yeah, you
see.
can click on it and then
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
waiting
dollar
for
value.
Etherscan to open up. We're just gonna do some quick number crunching because this was an absolute. It was 3322.71 for ETH at that moment. So he dropped $624,000 on a completely illiquid asset right now.
Yeah, yeah. No
Oh,
one really cares about it. So what's the
I
highest offer
mean,
on it right now? Just for shits and giggles.
0.15.
No one's even offering on it. This is probably like a collection offer. So that's the worst part. It's a
Yep. It's
collection
a
offer on it. That's sad.
I mean, I'm not. I think Logan Paul's doing fine financially. I'm not going to feel too bad for him. He is just. He's almost. People make fun of Steve Aoki a lot, but I think Logan Paul deserves to take more shit for some of it
He's
because
the
he
real Grim
also
Reaper.
loaded up. He loaded up on that Irene Dow project.
Oh no,
Yeah, like in a
no.
big way.
I
In
think I
a
think
big way.
I think I saw you tweet like we should have known that this was the top when you put like the Irene
Yep.
Dow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was.
mean
I
that was
mean,
crazy.
it was like January 14th when it got
Yeah,
all that steam, and ever since like then, it has been a pretty straight line down for the NFT market.
it's all because of
So
Irene.
Irene ruined it for everybody.
Yeah,
Any other wins you want to give us to make yourself feel better about the losses?
yeah. I say Wolf game, and it might be an L. I'm unsure. I haven't really crunched the numbers, but mainly I'm for sure up in the assets.
Okay.
I think almost everything I bought in terms of Wolf game on an asset level has been up, but I think I've taken pretty big L's on their wool, like on their token. I think over the last year I've been buying here and there, like kind of like DCAing down. So like, oh, it went down. Okay, I guess I buy one more ETH of it or something. And when I look back, I think it lost like 90% of its value since last year. So naturally, I should have probably lost something along the way. But my assets are up, so that's for sure.
Okay. So I'll just give a couple of mine. Bored Ape Yacht Club. No one really wants to hear about that. That
Yeah,
was just right place, right time. I've made some good decisions. Whatever. I did get a W from
yeah.
Azuki. I covered my cost. I had bought two Azukis. I got some beans. I sold those before everything crashed. I sold my final Azuki right when Zagabond made that announcement, and so I took like a wrapped ETH offer, and so I had a good run from Azuki. Those are two of the biggest W's. There's some other small ones here or there, like Smiles. I sold
Hmm.
some of those that I bought early on for cheap. That's turned out well. Um, you know, but I think more people want to hear about the losses we've taken. I do
I
feel good
do.
about like Black Box by Renga. I got in on
Hmm.
those and got like the Art of Seasons pieces, and those did well for me and got me like some cool physical art as well. So I'm going to book a W there. Um, yeah, I want to say those are like the big ones. Like there's, oh, actually, no, I take that back. I talked about my koala bear, my koala intelligence agency
Oh
yesterday.
no.
That was a nice one. I had another
Yeah.
one. I did plasma bears back like last
Oh
September, and I bought one of those for like 1 ETH, and then like 9 days later sold it for 10 ETH. And
wow.
so I had like a few nice, like, you know, week and a half long flips that kind of got me off and running. And then it's just been dumb luck ever since, I guess. I don't know. That's what some people keep telling me, that I've just gotten lucky. So I guess they're right, and I don't know what I'm talking about outside of that.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I have a very very rare W, and that's Pixelmon.
Ah!
um, so I've actually made money off
Congratulations.
Pixelmon. So that should be a medal. Honestly, I should have like a medal saying I didn't
Yeah.
lose money on Pixelmon, and I actually made money on Pixelmon.
You could probably
Um,
make that NFT, like that would be an NFT in and of itself.
yeah. Somehow find like crunch the data and send it to everyone who actually made profit on Pixelmon.
How the hell did
I
you pull that off?
I minted it for zero point 0.6 and I sold it for 1.1. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so that's a very rare W.
That is a very rare W. I'm thinking that long term, my CryptoPunk pickup is going to be a W. I feel pretty confident in that. Like prices pulled back a bit, but the value of ETH has gone up quite a bit since I made that buy. So I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
good about like where my cost basis is, and I think that that's a long term hold for me. I'm not planning on like, well, unless someone like I think I have it listed for 500 ETH. So if someone
Wow.
wants to go go buy it for 500 ETH, I'm gonna let that one go to them. But I don't
Wow.
see that happening, Dan.
No, if it does, I'm very happy for you. But maybe we can call Mr. Logan Paul and see if he wants to buy it.
Dan, if it does sell by next summer, I'm gonna buy you an air conditioning unit. Okay.
Please, I have one. I actually have one, a pretty decent one here, and I like it.
Okay, but I'm gonna get you like a really big one. I'm gonna get you
like a
like
big one,
I'm
like
gonna
an
get you like
AC.
no, I'm gonna pay for your family to have central air. That is what I'm gonna do. So every
I love it.
time you walk in on a hot day up there in the Netherlands, you're gonna be like, oh, your family's gonna be like, wow,
Thank
we
God for
really
JWeb.
appreciate that JWeb guy that we don't know for buying us his central air conditioning.
I like it.
That's my plan.
Deal.
Okay. I think that is a good place to end it today. We'll be back on Friday for our market recap. We should have some more news to touch on. It's been a very bizarre week in NFTs. You know, the potatoes are still popping, man. I don't know what to think about the potatoes. I'm feeling a little bit of potato FOMO. So we'll see how those are performing. We have the McGoblin Burger traps that can be set beginning Friday. So that should be pretty cool to watch unfold. So for Dan, for the rest of the team over at FLOLiO, once again, head to FLOLiO.com, link your account, subscribe to our channel, like this video, all that good stuff. I am JWeb. That's Dan. We will see you next time, everybody.
Bye bye.